Welcome back to the So There I Was podcast. I'm Travis Womack, your host once again, and today we have a special guest, Neal Stratham, and coming to us from Kansas. And he was a 21-year veteran in the Navy, did a whole bunch of cool stuff, but primarily a nuclear mechanic on a submarine. So definitely, from a paratrooper's point of view, we got to hear some fun stuff about that because we don't like the water in the airborne infantry. This is not our thing. So, Neal, welcome, and glad to have you here.
Thank you, Travis. Good to
So,
be here.
so just by that alone, a nuclear mechanic, I can only imagine the stories you have, but I have to ask because I'm 6'4". How tall are you?
Oh, I'm right at 5'9", depending on who's measuring. So call it that. But yeah. But on the submarines, we had guys that were every bit of 6'6". So
Just living their life ducking things.
yeah.
So, that's miserable. So I have to ask again, part two of my, because I'm immature paratrooper, is what's the longest you've been underwater? Like,
Ooh, I think it'd be longest. Well, you're not technically underwater the whole
or
time, right?
submerged. Let's say submerged.
Let's say some 55, 60 days ish,
That's
right? And
crazy.
yeah, but we would, and then even if we're on the surface, like we would pull into San Diego Harbor to resupply, and they would send a tugboat out into the middle of the harbor. We wouldn't actually pull into the harbor and put lines
Right.
across. They'd put the tugboat and stores on load or mail, what have you. But even then, like I was probably sleeping for that, so I didn't see the sunlight at all. I have,
Right.
and so, but then everybody else also complains about the sunlight, right? Like you went however long without seeing sunlight. And well, I was on the USS Alabama, and that was based out of Bangor, Washington. So Bangor, Bremerton, kind of across the water from Seattle. Well, you weren't going to see sunlight for 8 months of the year anyway up there.
Right.
So,
Was Denzel your XO? I heard he did a pretty banger job.
oh man, oh that movie, like some people would get revved up about it. I'd say the submarine community is way closer to down Periscope. And then if you put that together with the German U-boat movie Das Boot, then
Oh yeah.
that's submarine life. You smash those two together real hard, and that's submarine.
So, it's not Hunt for Red October. Not
No,
really. I love when they do that. And those of you on the boat are like, no, we don't. No, we don't do that. So
nobody has a dog peeing in the hallway. Nobody plays music in the bunk rooms ever, literally ever. Like that. Like the bunk rooms are always quiet, and if they're ever not quiet, everybody's awake because we're running drills or we're cleaning,
right,
right? And so it, there is literally no music going on the submarine unless you've got a headset on, ever.
right. Well, because like 2/3 of the crew is either one third's always down sleeping
Yeah, yeah,
technically, and
yeah.
another third is about to be going down, and
Right.
so it's just that rotation. Like if you're the person that
Yeah.
clangs the bunk, you're like, we're gonna kill you.
Yeah. Well, and it's on an 18-hour day too.
Oh
So
wow.
so it's 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours for that. And so the really thing that great thing that helps you out is if you're fully qualified and everything, and then you get on a workout schedule. Well, then you get
Right,
like 10 or 11 workouts in a week because you're doing one every day because your day is only 18 hours
right.
long.
It's yeah. See, these are things they don't tell you in the pamphlet. They're not in the trifold.
They were never in the
uh,
trifold.
that's crazy. So, what years were you on the Alabama?
I would have gotten there in May of 2001, late April 2001, May 2001, and then I left in January of 2006.
Okay, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So the Navy does assignments completely differently, obviously, than other branches.
Right. And so on the submarine side or the, shipboard side, enlisted people typically look at right at 4 years, 3.5 to 5 years, for their deployable rotation. And then you could go to shore duty for about 3 years. And then the officers are a lot quicker on the rotation cycle.
Right.
They're 3 years at sea and then 2 years shore, something like that. But
That's crazy. I spent 10 years enlisted, 10 years as an officer. And many people I've talked to, it's unique that the officers are treated like their knowledge base is vastly different than what it is. And like to be an officer on a submarine, like you have to have an understanding of like nuclear power
Oh
and
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I mean all of this stuff. I'm like, I understand global logistics a little bit, but it's insane.
Yeah, no, the uh nuclear officers, there are some supply officers on the submarine that are not fully
Right.
nuclear trained, but in general, every other officer is fully nuclear trained, and those officers all will go through and qualify engineer. And it's not like
Right.
they're actually serving as the engineer of the submarine, but it effectively looks like a master's degree in nuclear engineering for
Right.
them.
It's
And so,
insane how much
oh
school they
yeah,
got to go through.
oh yeah,
Everybody. I mean, even you. I'm like
yeah,
to to enlist as a I'll get the ranks wrong. I'll just call it E2 or E3 because
right.
there's like
Seaman.
500 words.
Well, okay. So, and then the Navy also breaks down the junior enlisted ranks. The E1 through E3, there's airmen, firemen, seamen, construction men, and then
Right.
hospital corpsmen, and all of those fall under that. And so they're like, there's airmen in the Navy, and like there absolutely are. That's one rank a person could hold, right?
It's a start, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting because like you know, you enlist and you go through basic training and like you're in how long were you in school?
year and a half.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
so just over 9 months in Charleston, South Carolina, and then that was for machinist mate A school, and then nuclear power school, and then went up to 6 months in upstate New York, Saratoga Springs, Ballston Spa area for naval
Wow.
nuclear power prototype training, and that's where you actually operate a research reactor that the Navy's taking data on to see how it performs over the life of it. And
That's a year and a half of training plus basic, which is y'all's 9 weeks, 10?
9 weeks, yeah.
9 weeks. So you're looking at that's
If
another
you throw
2 months.
basic in there, it the whole thing comes out to
Almost
about
two.
a year and a half for me
Wow.
on the machinist mates. The other nuclear enlisted people, the electricians and electronics technicians, those guys had an A school of 26 weeks, and I think mine was 16 or 14 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So,
So that's a huge amount of investment though, just for the time. Like your
oh yeah,
what was your post school? Is it 4 years after that?
yeah, yeah. The minimum enlistment coming in is 6 years.
So, okay, for that job,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that makes. So I figured like oh we do that for like linguists. It's like if
Oh
we're
yeah,
going to teach you how to speak Farsi, it takes 2 years to do that. So
right.
we want to return on that investment on the Army side. I forget what it was. Like I don't know, I was infantry, so it was 15 weeks and move out. It's pretty easy to kick indoors and blow stuff up. It's you know, it's actually kind of fun. So so tell me, you gotta have some crazy stories on a submarine, 55 days underwater. I mean, people have to get like crazy in some
Right.
fashion.
Well, yeah. Some guys. We had one guy that literally got seasick. Like, and he would have headaches and get nausea. Like the instant that we went away from port, like we'd shut the hatches, and this guy would be sick, and it was ridiculous. Because and the nuclear pipeline, if you do really well going through the school, they will retain you as a trainer at the very end.
Okay.
That there's a chance, and so he got retained as a trainer. He was showing up to the submarine as an E6 that had never been out to sea because he was a student and then went through as an instructor at the training group, right? And so he was showing up
Wow.
at 4.5 years in the Navy, going out to sea for the first time, and he just started getting sick. And it was like, okay,
That's
man. But and then I guess the day everybody remembers where they were,
oh yeah.
September 11th, 2001. So uh, that was me getting back on September 10th, the evening of September 10th. I got back for my first time ever uh, going out to sea. The USS Alabama did a mini DASO little thing that where we go out and we test our competence for release of nuclear weapons, right?
Right.
And so our missile guys go through a training thing Like they prove themselves to be competent at their job. We're out to sea, I forget how many days, whatever. And then we go back into port and we're pulling back into port. And one of my buddies comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, you're not leaving." I was like, "What are you talking about? We just pulled back in." And like, "No, we got the boat now. You got first shift. You got duty on the first day. You're staying on the boat."
He's like,
And so,
"Daddy."
well, and so I was like, "Oh, okay." So that night, I'm sleeping in the rack and wake up the next morning, eat breakfast. And at this point in my Navy career, I'm qualified to take the trash off the submarine. And I had gotten gun qual. So I was qualified to carry a shotgun for security personnel and a 9mm for security personnel. That's all I'm qualified to do, period. Right. Like I'm just literally qualified to wear my dosimetry badge as a nuclear worker. Right. And so I'm taking the trash off the submarine morning of September 11th. And one of the guys comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, did you hear what happened to the World Trade Center?" And because I've been in the Navy just short of 2 years at this point, like a year, 9 months, my alarm bells start going off. This guy's messing with me. Right. I've been in long enough to
Right.
know
No sarcasm.
we're gonna mess with the new guy, and I'm the new guy.
Right.
I have no idea what happened in the last 4 days because I've been underwater on my submarine, right? And I didn't know how to get the Associated Press updates that we used to get at the time or other news flashes and stuff. I don't even know if my email was set up properly. But he asked me, I was like, "Do you know what happened to the World Trade Center?" And so my bells go off, and I was like, "What? Did it get bombed again? Like it did in whatever
94.
92, nine,
Yeah.
yeah, Bin Laden the first
Yeah.
time he
Yeah.
hit it, right?" And he's like, "No, man, a plane crashed into it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, a plane crashed into the World Trade Center."
We're thinking
He's
like
like,
Cessna, like little. That's what I thought too.
and I think whatever, and I assume he's lying to me, right? I don't even think he's telling me the truth at
Right.
this point. And so I'm going around and I'm making sure stuff is cleaned up and everybody's coming into work that morning. And another guy in the engineering space stops me and he's like, "Hey, man, did you hear what happened to the Pentagon?" And now I'm just like overboard with it. I was like, "What happened to the Pentagon?" He's like, "A plane crashed into it." And I was like, "I thought it was a World Trade Center. You guys got to get your story straight if you're going to mess with the new guy. I pay attention here. Okay." Like, and then, yeah, literally it was 4 hours later, we're going back out to sea. Like, our senior enlisted supply. The senior enlisted person for supply is typically the chief cook on the submarine, and so he runs to the little mini mart on the sub base, grabs skull, cigarettes, underwear, toothbrush, toothpaste. I think is what like the loadout was for his emergency grab, and then yeah, we go through the emergency engine room startup, like, and everybody's like, and I think it was, a year later, 2 years later, one of the engineering like critique groups came out and said, "You guys did not do the correct things on September 11th for the engineering startup. You were following the nuclear manual procedure, but the ship's operation manual procedure says something different." And so, I think we got dinged on that, but everybody else was like, "Well, we're also the only ones to do that in the last 20 years or
Yes,
something."
you
So,
say. We'll give you an alibi on that one.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's been so interesting. Like, I mean, I was in college at 9/11, but I love hearing where people were that were in like West Point or the Naval Academy or you know or at sea.
Yeah.
I always joke. My dad was on a tractor plowing our field. Had no idea anything was going on for like 7 hours. He came in and was like, "What's everybody upset about?" It's like it's like no clue. And he's
Right.
out there at 6 in the morning plowing. So it's crazy. That's so y'all were like the first like vessel to respond. I mean, respond in
Right. There,
quotes.
there was literally something, September 12th, the front page of the Seattle Times, Seattle Post Intelligencer, the newspaper, had the USS Fife inbound to provide anti-air defense for the submarine
Hmm.
port and Bangor, and us outbound. And we kind of crossed paths in the channel out there in the Puget Sound, and so that was made the front page of the newspaper. And that was actually one of the pictures uh, that our command group would hand out for your achievement medals and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like your your CO writes you a thank you letter stuff, and like that picture went into all those awards that the USS Alabama handed out for the next 5 years or 6 years, something. So
That's awesome. That's a unique like opportunity, I guess, for lack of better words, to be a
yeah,
part of that.
and but everybody's like, and then we were obviously a nuclear weapons platform, and guys like, oh well, we're gonna go respond, and it's like, I don't know if this is one of those situations where we actually respond with nuclear weapons, guys,
Yeah.
but we're safer when we're out to sea, so let's just get out to sea and go
Yeah.
underwater. And
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. Is like, do y'all feel that way? Like, because I know for me, I tell people all the time. They ask me, like my college friends and stuff will say, what's it like jumping out of a plane or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's just great because everybody you work with is just as dumb as you are. We all do it.
that, or all of you share that common bond,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous, right? Like, oh
Right.
hey, we're going to put 180 dudes together. You're going to go underwater for 60 or 80 days, and we're going to have you operate a nuclear reactor, sleep in between nuclear missile silos, and then when we need to make oxygen, we're going to have you purify the water and then put
Right.
purified water into a high voltage chamber that causes the water to ionize. So we strip out the hydrogen and oxygen. So inside this chamber, we have water, pure hydrogen, and pure oxygen. And so our O2 generators are affectionately known as the bomb, if you
Yeah.
understand the danger of it,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
But then it's like, oh no, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this on repeat because that's what we do, right?
Right.
And the the craziness of it, but then it's also the environment. Like, what the back of a C-130 smells like,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And the ride, the rumble, the feel,
It's the
and
best nap there is.
but okay, the submarine going just fast enough when there's a little wiggle to it, like oh, that's good sleeping too.
Yeah.
And uh, we had for the first 2 years, somebody didn't know how to turn the air conditioning off or turn the heaters on. I forget what the situation was. So we would be in the North Pacific in the winter time, deadliest catch territory, and we'd have the air conditioning on in the bunk room, and I'd be sleeping on the top bunk because the lowest ranked people are the last
Yeah.
people to choose what rack they're sleeping in. And so I've got an air vent shooting on me. I'm sleeping in my full sweatsuit that I got in boot
Subarctic.
camp, and it's like I've got a hood up going to sleep, and uh, everybody's like, "Well, do you know where you are?" And it's like, "Yeah, kinda. If the seawater temperature coming into the submarine is 28 degrees, well, we're in the North Pacific. It's wintertime, and we're 300 feet deep or whatever." And like, okay, well, and what's the opposite of that? Well, the opposite is it would seawater temperature 65 degrees. We're at 200 feet deep, and we're 10 miles off the coast of Hawaii. And
Yeah.
that's what that's all I
Yeah.
know about it. Like, where am I? I have no idea. Like, I did a little
This,
bit of the navigation plot stuff that I got trained to do in a hot minute. I couldn't tell you how to work any of
oh,
that.
that is so obviously Navy y'all use Latin long for and then obviously the famous gray contour lines of underwater mapping,
Right?
you
Yeah.
know, which was always a joke in the army. We're like, those don't apply to us. If we're around that, we're screwed. We've gone too far. but we um I was going to ask you, my brain just stopped. Oh, so when you're in the subs, the submarine crew, is that is the camaraderie of that similar? It sounds like it's similar to like the crews that are on the carriers or the destroyers or all
It
that,
it
like a totally different vibe.
it's definitely different, right? Because on the nuclear side, you get the choice of going to aircraft carriers or to submarines. There's no in between platform for the
Right.
Navy. We used to have nuclear cruisers in the 80s, 90s. Those don't exist anymore. And so uh, when I was enlisting, they looked at me and they're like, "Hey, you're going to go nuclear." I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Would you like to volunteer for submarines?" And I was like, "Well, what does that mean?" And like, "Well, if you go in nuclear and you don't volunteer for submarines, you're automatically going to an aircraft carrier." And I said, "Wait, okay." And what if I go submarine? So like, you make more money. And so my debate was,
Ding.
an aircraft carrier will hold 6,500 people. My hometown holds 2,100 people. Let me check out the submarines.
It's a we're gonna need two 7-Elevens to cover that, and three stoplights.
Right. And so that, and then that was also a joke that like the aircraft carrier guys, like they literally have Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right. And like they have college professors going out to sea with them so they can maintain their college, degree pursuits and stuff. On the submarine, we didn't have that. It was,
You didn't have online classes on Wi-Fi underwater?
we could do those. We could do
Really?
those a little, not on Wi-Fi. Like
Right.
it would be like the extension, whatever courses, like here's the CD-ROM.
Wow. That's that would be interesting to see because how I mean, there's like a educational advantage though on speed of getting a class done. Because if you're on a carrier, I know their Wi-Fi isn't like some amazing 5G or that, but like they can. Like, I'll take classes when I was in Iraq, so
Oh,
I'll go do a raid and come back and turn in my speech class or whatever it was we were doing. So a lot of people were doing that
write
back
your
then too.
paper on the Peloponnesians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's better, ketchup from Whataburger or McDonald's? Go. The answer is Whataburger if you didn't know that. It's spicy, of course. But
Oh, definitely,
I'm from
definitely.
Texas. I'm from Texas. There's no other ketchup. So did you enlist from Kansas or originally from there or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Seneca, Kansas was my hometown. I enlisted out of the Topeka recruiting office, and then yeah, I went off boot camp. Halloween of 1999, October 31st, and then November 1st, I got on the plane and started basic training in Great Lakes, Illinois.
That's the worst part. It's so freaking
It is, yeah,
cold.
it's rough. It's
So
rough.
we always joke in the army that all of our bases was kind of like, oh, what's the worst place in Georgia? Fort Benning. Let's put it there because it's like straight sand and just like all the mosquitoes I think from the country breed there and then disperse. It was so freaking hot. I got there in July of
Oh,
03, and I was like, I should have rethought this. Should have calendared this out to be a winter class. It's so hot. It's a good time. I actually remember I signed my contract to enlist on April 1st, so I couldn't tell my parents for a whole one more day because of the April Fool's joke.
yeah, yeah, that wouldn't, yeah, would not work. It's not funny. Bad jokes.
My mom was like, "Oh, you joined the army?" I'm like, "Yeah." What are you gonna do? I was an 18X. I'm gonna try to be a green beret. She's like, "Of course you couldn't like be a cook or a mechanic." I'm like, "No, the most dangerous thing I can possibly find."
Airborne, unassigned.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good times. So we're all be out in traveling. Like whenever y'all go to shore, do y'all like stop in like Japan area or in the Pacific
See,
or
they started that when I was on the Alabama. We would pull into port in San Diego and pull into port in Pearl Harbor,
that's it?
and then that's it, right?
Yeah,
We'd be out of home port for about 70 days, do one of those port calls, and then the ballistic missile submarines actually have two separate crews. So when we pulled back in, we would go into a maintenance period for about 30 days, and then the other crew would always go out to sea for 70 days ish. Right. And then everybody keeps track of day by day. And if the other crew is only doing 65 days and we just came off of 71 days, we're keeping track. Everybody's keeping every day counts every day. And then on our longest deployment, somebody started talking about it like, hey, we've been out and we were waiting for home port for 80, 70 something days. I think the whole deployment was 81 days. But somebody started talking at the end of that, like, hey, if we get extended for another week, we could get a sea service ribbon out of this, right? Because 90 days away from home port, that
right.
earns you a sea service ribbon in the Navy. And everybody looked at them like they were an idiot. Like, no, I don't want to stay out for another week for a ribbon. I want to go home and see my wife, you idiot. Like, shut up. We're not staying
No
out.
talking. You single soldiers are not allowed to talk. So home was you said Seattle up there? Is
Yeah.
that
Bangor, Bremerton,
okay?
Naval Base Kitsap, I think is the new name that it got
Right.
changed to for a
Well,
hot minute.
all that got changed because there was so I know it as Bangerton,
Right.
right? Because my grandfather was the commander of Bangerton
Oh,
for
wow.
Yeah. So Admiral Nunley back in the 80s was he was the commander up there. And he was, whenever I joined the army, I got an earful and a half from him. He was
Yeah, I would imagine.
like, what the hell are you doing? Well, it's my grandfather's cousin, so whatever that actually is for me. I call my grandfather because I've known him my entire life like that. But yeah, Admiral Jim Nunley. And he was always, I knew he was in the Navy, and I knew him forever. I knew he went to the academy, and he was in the Pentagon during the Reagan administration and stuff. But and which is a long time ago. And he
Right.
so when I joined, the word got back to the family, and he called me. It's like, you did what? So because so my actual granddad on both my parents' side were both in the Navy,
Right.
and then he was obviously an admiral in the Navy, and they're like, I'm like, they don't have airborne in the Navy, so I want to jump out of planes. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. See, both of my grandfathers were in the Navy. One was an electrician's mate on minesweepers, and I think I don't know if it was the same week he enlisted or the same week he graduated basic training and was headed out to the fleet, but it was the beginning of August of 1945. And so my grandfather likes to point out that the Japanese surrendered when he was moving out into the Navy. And, there were two bombs associated, but
Oh yeah,
Grandpa Bob was going out to the minesweeper fleet, and so the Japanese surrendered. And then my other grandfather was a cook in Pearl Harbor, and he actually bartended the senior enlisted club in Pearl Harbor. He has
wow.
I've got his pictures now. He's got a photo album of the first senior enlisted club party, first anniversary of establishing the senior enlisted club in Pearl Harbor, for the Navy Chiefs. And so I've got all these pictures of these guys in their Chiefs outfit looking like the Three Stooges, and and then he always
Oh
told me
yeah,
the stories of like, oh yeah, the drunk chiefs had passed out in the grass. And if you've been to Hawaii, it's a great place to pass out in the grass. It's like there are way worse places to go to sleep at than in the grass in Pearl Harbor. But then he started pulling out. I eventually got the picture album. And there's actually pictures of guys passed out in the grass. And I don't know if it was a joke that they staged for the picture or the guy was actually drunk and passed out. And so I've got his actual photo album of
that's
the.
funny. They still have the NCO clubs in the Navy, or no? They got rid of them.
They do hit and miss. I think they
Yeah,
closed the one down in Pearl Harbor. Yokosuka, Japan. When I was over there, they still had a senior enlisted club, and then yeah, I'm sure Norfolk, and then the other major Bremerton proper might have it
yeah.
on their base, but yeah, it's hit and
That's
miss.
yeah. Was the Army got like pretty much got rid of all of them, all the O clubs and the NCO. They still have the buildings,
Right.
obviously, and they still do like stuff there, but the formal, I don't know where. Excuse me, where all that kind of. I'm sure somebody complained somewhere. It happens. So it's a segregation of officers and NCOs. We're supposed to be. So, but and now we have all calls and right arm nights and hells and farewells, and it's pretty much twice a month. There was always something to. Hey, it's 4 o'clock. Let's go drink a beer.
Yeah.
So when I was in the old guard, and we had that almost twice a month. Something to go to the old guard club. Is the basement of the old officer club on Fort Myer. And we had redesigned, not redesigned, we kind of redecorated it a little bit, all old guard stuff. And there's some really, really old guard stuff. And it's pretty cool to go down there and a dance floor. We're like, it's a bunch of dudes. We've got like there's like 5 girls here, and most of us are married, so not gonna be dancing. So yeah,
Yep.
good times. When did you recruit?
It would have been uh, April of 2006 until November 2009.
Okay, we
And
overlap a little bit.
yeah, and that was in Manhattan, Kansas. So I got to go, one recruiting station away from the one I got recruited out of, and pretty
Okay,
happy about that.
that's an interesting discussion though with a landlocked state talking to kids about joining things where there's lots of water. How's
Right.
that kind of? I mean, that's my brain just kind of defaults. I'm sure most people just do.
Right. And so it was a very simple conversation. Uh, would you like to leave Kansas? Yes. Okay. That's step one, right? Right, because we have an Air Force base down in Wichita. We got the Army
Right,
base right next to in Fort Riley, and so the Air Force and Army better get scratched off the list immediately. If you want to leave Kansas, I can
right. That's
guarantee you, you're not going to be in Kansas anymore. Okay, that's one, and then all the other
that's
people would
funny.
be like, "Oh yeah, well, I think I want to go to college, go out and have parties and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, well, do you think it's better to party at somebody's house in Manhattan, Kansas, or on Waikiki Beach in Hawaii?"
Yeah, it's a good sell. It's good. It's going. Well played,
Right.
sir. Well played.
And so that was my easy ones. And then, the other recruiting, yeah, it was always interesting because people would, you know, try to tell me like, well, what could happen to you in the Navy? Like you could end up on a submarine. Like, the other recruiters in other branches would, tell kids that. And I was like, oh,
Right.
it's absolutely true. Right. And like, and
I was on one.
it was real funny when the Air Force guy would roll in and say, well, you could end up on the submarine if you join the Navy. And I looked at, the recruit and I was like, well, you can't unless you volunteer. And I know because I was on the submarine, we actually worked with Air Force Pararescue for submarine launch and recovery. They had like two SEALs come out with them. And, the Air Force pararescue guy actually walked up to me one moment and he's like, hey, man, I need to get some gasoline. And they told me to go to you because I was the actual guy that was in charge of onboarding freshwater fuel oil for our diesel engine and then our lubricating oil systems. And so I was a fuel, oil, and water guy, king, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he's like, I need some gasoline, man. I was like, hey, dude, we don't got gasoline. He looks at me strange and he's like, what does the submarine run on? I was like, the nuclear reactor, the sign you just walked past for active radiation area. And he's like, oh, okay. So I had to,
Is it diesel?
it's not diesel.
It's old U-boats. It's like, yeah, just move along, move along. It's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have when I was an Army recruiter, like I had one kid that I guess I actively like pursuing to recruit, and he ended up going nuclear, volunteered for the nuclear program, and we're in the middle of nowhere, East Texas, and he was like, uh, he was either going to be airborne ranger or he was going to go nuclear,
Right.
and I was like, well, your mindset's in the right place. So I commend you for that. Like if you're going to do it, go crazy, go full crazy. You know,
And uh, everybody that is, uh, extra infantry, whether it's airborne or,
mm-hmm.
full Green Beret or for us, the EOD guys, the SEALs, whatever, everybody likes to play like everybody in that community does a great job of playing dumb. But if you go back and you look at all their
And they're
ASVAB
smart,
scores, they're
super smart.
so like, I was like, and so like our on the Navy side, there was, one person that was designated for our recruiting district to target nuclear applicants.
Right.
Right. And so me being another nuclear guy, like they would talk to me, they just kind of leave me alone most of the time. But their number one complaint was, well, because especially from 2006 to 2009, the special
Oh yeah.
forces community got whoever they wanted that was
Oh yeah.
qualified, right? And
Oh yeah.
so the nuclear guy had his, bone to pick. Is like, oh, I'm losing I can't recruit these guys because they want to go SEAL or
You
EOD
can't
or
put
SWIC or
everybody in
whatever,
buds.
right? And so yeah, that was always interesting when uh, all the special forces guys like to play meathead. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no, I know you guys.
Yes, interesting to say that because I have a picture of my infantry platoon from 2006, and in that picture is three guys, and only three guys that don't have a 110 GT. Like the entire platoon had over a 110, and people are like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Well, it's not the norm by any
Right,
means."
right. And
And
so Navy runs off the AFQT or QT,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so in our recruiting office, at one stretch when I was there, we had myself as a nuclear mechanic, first class petty officer, another first class petty officer that was intel on the counter hacker, best description of it, right? Computer
Hmm.
side. And then
Yeah.
we had a second class bosun's mate. And the second class bosun's mate, for those that don't understand the term bosun's mate in the Navy, they're the guys that are in charge of small craft operations and then also like mooring the ship. And then they are in charge of all the non-qualified people in shipping and painting and other like really mundane maintenance activity, which we still had to do as nuclear guys on the
Right.
submarine, but on the surface community, they have a whole lot more of those generic, hey, you're going to be a sailor and you'll figure it out whenever you get there. They literally had guys like that. We had very few on the submarine.
Yeah.
Well, this bosun's mate, second class, had turned down a scholarship to the Air Force Academy and had the highest ASVAB score in the office.
It's always funny. They're like, crap.
Where it's like, hey, who's the smartest guy in the office? The guy that has the most, job most dismissed as being an idiot,
Yeah.
right? And like, no, this guy's the smartest, literally on paper,
Hey,
of
that's
all of
that's a
us,
that's a Unabomber. You're like, you see him, you think he's homeless. He's actually test as a genius.
right? He's got a PhD in mathematics because he thought it was entertaining.
I was bored. I want to do some quantitative analysis. That's crazy. Well, that's pretty crazy. So you got out in 2021?
Uh, 20, yeah, out of the reserves on, yeah, yeah, that was, you know, spending the last 2 years in the reserves with the COVID is quite
Oh
a
gosh.
quite a
Yes.
feat. But the reserves actually got me out of the U.S. and I got to go to Japan several times with it and back to
That's
Hawaii
cool.
and yeah, and uh, what was it? A friend asked me like, how many different places have you lived? And I was like, well, how long do you need to live there to qualify it as living there? And like,
Yeah.
well, if you go over 30 days, I think that counts as living there. I was like, oh man, well, I can count up Hawaii and Japan and Pensacola, Florida, and oh, I've
Do I
really
got,
lived.
do, do I got to count Dubai for that? That's the rule.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
9 months in Dubai. Oh, so it's hot there too, by the way. If you didn't, it's ridiculously hot.
It's a dry heat though. It's a dry heat.
No, it's
It's
not.
not.
That's the
It's
word.
humid.
It is ungodly humid in
Real.
Dubai.
Okay.
We were on the
Wow.
air base just north of there, just north of main downtown, obviously. And I mean, it's like downtown, nothing. And then there's this air base way over here. I'm using hand signals on the radio. It's great. And oh my gosh, we got there in April, and from April till September, like during the day, it was like unnecessary to go outside. And our generator systems, our AC systems were just awful. I mean, just it took everything we had just to keep air and power and not overheat the generators. Because it was 115. It was nothing, but that was just a normal day, and the humidity was just ungodly because we're right there off of the Mediterranean Sea. And what was crazy was when September came around, and like maybe a little bit of October, like all the workers came out, and they could build like Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world. Like they pretty much only build it at night in the summer, and
Oh
then
wow.
because they can't work during the day. It's too hot. They can't like actually do concrete work and stuff. And it was crazy. We're like, where are all these workers coming from? This is crazy. So all of our like life cycle supplies, like clean water, potable water, and all that. All those guys came at like 6 or 7 in the morning because they wouldn't work past 9 in the morning. It was crazy. Just that's ungodly hot there. I did not. I preferred Iraq any day of the week over North Dubai. It was ridiculous. So, but well, no, and this has been a lot of fun. You got I love doing this because I love hearing and getting to know other branches because like we don't really interact with each other much. My
Right.
interaction with the Air Force is not vast by any means, but I've jumped off a lot of their planes and pissed off a lot of crew chiefs because we get really mad when we leave our trash on the plane. But the Navy's like an obsolete thing. I remember the very first time I went to in Virginia, I was at Fort Lee, and we go over to Norfolk just to drive by. and it's funny for me. I'm a, you know, my hometown was like 10,000 people in West Texas, you know, and go to Norfolk, and you know, like you see, like I was there when the Enterprise came back to port, and
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, holy crap, that thing is massive. Like you just
Oh
don't
yeah.
register how big like an aircraft carrier is, and then it's at port, and you're like driving by, and you're like, now I get it. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
like so many things make sense. You
W-
know,
And I guess always with the size comparison, an aircraft carrier is about the size of the Empire State Building in
just
water.
yeah,
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 just laid down. And then the USS Alabama is about the size, or at least the length of the Space Needle. Right. I think they're within 10 feet of each other, laid on its side. And everybody, the space on the ballistic missile submarines is massive compared to the attack submarines.
oh,
And
I
so
bet.
you go on to a Los Angeles class or a Virginia class, it's everything is tight. And it's like, oh man, if you're over 6 foot and if you're over 200 pounds, you're going to be in very close proximity to people.
Yeah,
And then, but on the Ohio class submarines, it's like, oh no, we have the benefit of needing to have those missile tubes, and so we were 4 stories thick in the middle, and
right,
we had elliptical ski machines and treadmills and stuff, and so we had extra space just to accommodate the missile platform status. And so we had all this extra stuff. Like the attack submarine guys would walk into there and like, wait, we're not storing canned food in the engine room and walking on pallets on top. And like, no, no, we actually just store the canned food in the canned food space across from the galley and the cruise mess and stuff. Oh, wow, this is great. There's so much space down here.
it's where it's supposed to go in the kitchen. Where you not in the engine
Yeah.
room, preheating the preheating the beans. So that's why they're called refried. We figured it out. So I've always said we're missing out on some good fried beans somewhere. So I haven't refried them. But man, this has been a lot of fun. I enjoy it though, but it's fun to hear different things. I've only talked to one submariner honestly in my entire career. Some guy on the Metro bus come back from the Pentagon one day. It was, you know, he's a submarine commander, and he, you know, obviously wouldn't talk hardly at all. But
Right.
and so it's just kind of like, no, I want to know. Like I'm 6'4". How bad would it have been? Like, it's
You,
snug.
you still would have ended up bald. You just would have had a couple extra
Oh, that's fine.
scars with it. So yeah.
So for those that don't get to watch the video here, there's also a pretty epic beard thing going on. So Neil and I combined we're doing well in our retired days. So,
Yes.
but well, appreciate it, and definitely enjoy having you as a guest. And we'll have to have also to get you back on here because I could probably ask you 1,000 questions about life on a sub that I'll probably think of here in about 5 minutes because that's how things work. But enjoyed it. And you know, anything I'd like to close with, and as far as the spirit of this podcast is just to be vets and be stupid and be silly and tell our experiences and stories, and in hopes that somebody else that was on a sub one day hears it and it pings their interest, and maybe they don't make a terrible decision.
Right. And gosh, we actually did training on this mental health topic at work, on our Monday morning meeting last week. And everybody, kind of chimes in with their 2 cents. And I just really emphasized to everyone, I was like, hey, we're all pretty good technical nerds here, right? Like I work at an engineering firm that's doing research and development on radiation detectors, neutron detectors, and then some other special crystal materials for radiation detection and solar panel applications, right? And so all of us can identify technically that there's a problem or something's not right.
Yep.
And hey, man, if there's a problem, it doesn't even need to be a problem. You just need to think this isn't right. Something's not right. And if I can fix it, I should fix it myself. But if I can't fix it, I need to ask somebody for help.
Yeah.
Right. And that is, just a mindset and emphasis that like, hey, if something's wrong, right? If your house is on fire, you call the fire department, right?
Right.
If you know my fire team is pinned down, oh, I'm going to call some air support, right?
Yeah.
Or artillery, whatever, right? And so uh, it, something's not right, you can call somebody, call whoever, right? Because the help is a phone call away, an ask away, a question away, or hey, I think this is a situation. How do we get help, or how do we improve it, fix it, whatever it is, right? And that's always kind of my baseline for all of it. And it's like, hey man, the neutron detector's not working. Okay, well, let's try to fix it. Hey man, I don't feel like working today. Okay, let's stop here. Let's And so that's really, and this job is going from the stress level and military showing up on time to where I'm at now. It took me 3 months to figure out that they didn't care when I showed up in the morning. I would be rolling in at 8:05, waiting for somebody to club me over the head, like, "Why are you 5 minutes late?" And it's like, then I roll in at 8:30, and I'm like, "I'm really going to get chewed out on this one," and nobody says anything, and so it's like, uh, uh, you decompress, and man, but it's just because things are right, and that's
Yeah.
when you can decompress and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, that's my hope is use this podcast to be, because exactly what you just shared, all this stuff about your time on a nuclear submarine. If someone wasn't on it, they kind of like don't know how to process what you're telling them.
right, and oh hey, we think something nuclear is leaking over here. Oh well, we need to let somebody know that, and we need to
Yeah,
document this and and so
there's
uh,
a pamphlet. There's a pamphlet for that, I hear. We should probably follow it
do you
very
got
carefully.
do you got some duct tape and maybe some paper towel? And I don't think
think this
that's
will,
the answer on this one, buddy.
think this will leak. So I bought some flowers. I heard that tape and flowers fix everything. So
Okay, so a quick nuclear funny story.
always, always.
Okay, so the nuclear training site in Ballston Spa, New York, had one of the first naval research reactors up there. It's the D1G prototype, or dig ball, and you can zoom in on it in West Milton, New York. That it's the second largest centrifugal spherical building in the U.S. to Epcot Center.
Right.
And so that is the OG naval nuclear reactor, or one of them. Well, I guess hippies were protesting the nuclear industry in the 80s or 70s or something, and they
70s, yeah.
break into the nuclear research base up there, and they started throwing flowers, and I guess they ended up throwing the flowers on the waste treatment pond, thinking it was a nuclear waste storage site or whatever. And so that was the great flowers heal everything, including the poop pool on the Kesslinger site in upstate
That's
New York.
awesome. See, there's probably an article about that now. So, that's why I have to do this. That's so we can tell these stories. So, well, with that, we'll wrap it up. Neal, really appreciate it, man.